And I remember one day looking at it and reading it, and I'm like, "This sounds like it is someone else." It's just so wild the change that happens. I remember when and I had this backwards when I first came into the rooms of recovery because I was really young and a lot of stuff hadn't happened to me yet. It was kind of the early stages. I knew something was going on. I knew my drinking was different than my friends. There was part of me that couldn't stop, and I would go in and I'd hear people sharing about their experiences and if the events were different, I'm like, "Oh no, this is, I can't relate to this." But
Yeah.
when I heard people talking about the way that they felt, like you mentioned, where the loneliness and stuff like that, it's like there's only so many feelings that we can all experience, and I find that we at some point or another we run into that same loneliness, we run into that same frustration, that pain, that hurt, that confusion of not knowing what to do next. How am I ever going to get sober? So that makes a lot of sense to me, Robert. Really
Yeah.
identifying.
I can't even imagine you as a drugged out alcoholic searching for his next drink or drug. I can't even imagine because what you portray to me is this sober guy who's achieving, who's going to school, who's working full time, who's juggling a relationship, just killing it in life. But here you are. He is now a treatment counselor in the facility that she went through. You know, the greatest evidence of the life that I live and the forgiveness. You have children. Three of my children have never seen me high or drunk. I have I'm involved in a 37-year relationship, been married over 36 years, and she's my third wife. I'm an upstanding member of my community. Most importantly, I go to bed every night and I know where I am. At one point, George is he's the only living person who's known me my whole life. The only thing we had left to do was leave. That's what my brother said at the height of my addiction, and they all left. So on tangible, financial, spiritual, familial, everywhere you look in my life, Drew, it's worth it